We're joined now by Lee Seham, General Counsel for AMFA. And as an attorney, Lee, tell us about your experiences with AMFA.
I've been an attorney for 25 years, and I have to say that the proudest moments of my career are connected with my law firm's representation of the Aircraft Mechanics Fraternal Association. For me, what makes AMFA unique is both its democratic structure and its dedication to the mechanics craft. AMFA was the only union to stand up in front of a presidential emergency board and say that the 60-year injustice of mechanics topping out at the same wage rate as baggage handlers had to come to an end. AMFA is the only union that says we will not only protect your job, but we will protect your license. AMFA is the only union I know of that has successfully defended the right of a mechanic to put an unairworthy plane on the ground, even when the man was in an airline that AMFA was not yet certified to represent. At American Airlines, AMFA attorneys have gotten terminated mechanics their jobs back in New York, Miami, and AFW, with full back pay and full seniority when these men had despaired of any assistance from the TWU. AMFA is able to focus so effectively on the interests of mechanics because it is the only labor union that restricts itself constitutionally to representing the craft or class of mechanics and related employees. AMFA is like ALPA in this respect, dedicated to a single craft or class. AMFA does not engage in the greedy pursuit of more dues money. AMFA's objective is to promote a craft. And when you're in AMFA, you will know that every dollar, every dime, every nickel of your dues money is spent on mechanics and related employees. Not on baggage handlers, not on truck drivers, not on real estate or boats, just on you. And what AMFA is doing in this respect is following the policy set forth by the United States government. The National Mediation Board has held that in determining the proper scope of a craft or class, it is, quote, particularly important that the job classification share a work-related community of interest. The federal government has held that in order to be deemed a craft or class, quote, a particular grouping of employees must possess a sufficiently distinct community of interest and commonality of functional characteristics to ensure a mutuality of interest in the objective of collective bargaining. Now, why would you join a union that combines employee groups which the United States government believes to have conflicting interests? AMFA will never allow an unskilled majority to subvert the interests of a skilled minority. Every AMFA officer is directly elected by the members, and every AMFA officer belongs to the craft or class of mechanics and related employees. Now, how did the TWU perform for the mechanics and related during the 11-13 bankruptcy process? The easier question to answer is, how did the TWU do for itself? Now, this is what the TWU got for itself: up to $5 million to pay off their attorneys, up to $2 million to pay off their investment bankers. It looked to protect itself by getting from American Airlines a 50% indemnification of all lawsuits against the TWU up to $5 million, and a 100% indemnification for all lawsuits over $5 million. They also got 4.8% of all the equity of the reorganized entity. Contrast the TWU's focus with how AMFA performed in the face of bankruptcy at United. After rejecting the first offer, AMFA went back to the table armed with the mandate of an overwhelming membership strike vote. And even in the difficult context of an 11-13 bankruptcy negotiation, AMFA actually obtained the following job protections for the first time: the right to perform an annual audit for the purpose of verifying compliance with the CBA's outsourcing limitations, United's agreement not to furlough any line mechanics from any then-existing point as a direct result of future outsourcing, United's agreement not to outsource the 3 C-check lines of work performed by AMFA-represented employees at the San Francisco Maintenance Center, job security protection as a direct result of outsourcing for the following shops in the San Francisco Maintenance Center: pneumatics, avionics, landing gear, APU, engine accessories, engine disassembly, assembly and test, reversers, nose cowls and radomes, wire harnesses, heat transfer units, tire shop, plant maintenance, and flight controls. That's what AMFA got even while fighting in a bankruptcy context. Now, AMFA meetings are open and democratic. Nobody is told to sit down and shut up simply because they disagree with the elected leaders. At AMFA, the leaders implement the policies their members endorse because otherwise they would be recalled in a heartbeat. In my experience, AMFA leaders do not make false promises because they work side by side with their members who have zero tolerance for a liar. Now, the Teamsters have promised to reopen your collective bargaining agreement, but that's the same promise they made to the United Mechanics, a promise that they obviously never fulfilled. Here's what the National Mediation Board and the federal courts have said about the Teamsters' promise to reopen a contract. When there is an agreement in effect between a carrier and its employees signed by one set of representatives, and employees choose new representatives who are certified by the board has taken the position that a change in representation does not alter or cancel any existing agreement made in behalf of the employees by their previous representatives. The only effect of a certification by the board is that the employees have chosen other agents to represent them in dealing with the management under the existing agreement. The purpose of such a policy is to emphasize a principle of the Railway Labor Act that agreements are between the employees and the carrier. Now, the federal courts have adopted the NMB's policy in recognizing that well-established principle that a mere change of representatives does not alter otherwise applicable contractual agreements. Notwithstanding what the Teamsters may tell you, that's what the courts have said, and that's what the National Mediation Board have said. You can rest assured that your AMFA representatives will exploit every opportunity that presents itself to improve your contract. Why? Because they are your coworkers. If you take a pay cut, they take a pay cut. If you get a wage hike, they get a wage hike. What AMFA will not do is pump smoke up your skirts, which in my opinion is what the Teamsters did at United and are trying to do to you now. I really enjoy working for AMFA. I take pride in being given the resources to protect workers' jobs. I take pride in defending a technician who is determined to protect passenger safety. I take pride in working with a democratic union whose policy decisions are based on its members' goals and aspirations. If you want to feel proud, sign an authorization card. Give yourself a chance to vote for a better future.
Hi, my name is Jim Schmidt. I've been with American Airlines for 35 years, the TWU for 35 years, and I'm tired of being jerked around by the TWU for no longer supporting us. I would like a craft and class union that the AMFA is. I fully support AMFA. I do not want the Teamsters on the property because they'll be no better than the TWU. I have no faith in either the Teamsters or the TWU. I want AMFA.